Hey folks, we are up at the Bobcat Trail here in Marshall, doing a little last minute design work, some tweaking. Check out right here is the airport, kind of cool. Used the runway to commute this morning. Pretty awesome, first time we've ever done that. Man, what a beautiful area. Just check all this out. Just gonna pan you around. What a beautiful property. We're gonna go do some flagging. We're gonna take you along with us, let you see what we do here at work. It's gonna be kind of like take your kids to work day, but it's gonna be take your subs to work day. See that joker right there? Ooh wee, gotta be careful walking through here, son. All right, we're headed back to the truck. For some reason, I forgot that it is modern gun deer season here in Arkansas, and we are out in the middle of the woods. There's not supposed to be anybody hunting here, but you never know. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely do not want to get shot. We are going back to put our orange vest on. Pretty bonehead move to forget that. The jokers get pretty crazy around here. All right, let's go. Folks, what we're going to do here is we're going to set a reference mark up on top of this hill so we can start going back that way, shooting grade. And it's really thick in here. Turn your clino on. If you don't know what this thing is, it's a clinometer. We have a video we will put right up here or over there or down there that shows a little more of how we use this little unit. You set a grade right here at 0, and then you back up and you can shoot back up to this grade, and it'll tell you how much uphill, downhill you are in a percentage. We tie a knot like that right there, not really tying it a knot, so we can get it off later without too much fuss, because one of our pet peeves is leaving ribbon in the woods. It needs to be there for construction, but it all needs to go bye-bye just like before when you get there. So it's still negative 3%, dead on the money right there. So we're gonna go this way, shoot back this way. These are all green and blue trails. This trail right here is going to be green. It's a connector trail. We really don't want it to be over 5% average, which means we need to shoot it in at 3.5–4% ish. That's what we're going to try to do. It's going to be really hard looking up through there. You guys probably are not going to be able to see it. Right here we are at 4. We're at 5.2%. It's not going to show you. I don't know if you guys can see in there, if it's even going to focus, but that's what we're looking at. Here's how we do these knots. These knots mean for us that is a grade mark. Shoestring knot it, and then like that. When we come back through right there, it's easy to get that off. It can be used again if necessary or moved. And that's why we do that way. Some people put their knots on certain sides to symbolize things. We don't really do that, because when the actual crew comes through, they may want to be on the opposite side of what we envisioned in the beginning, and we're okay with that. All right, next thing we're going to do is pull up a Venza. Be kind of interested to hear what the rest of you use for layout. We're going to go on down here to Marshall Trail, find us. Kind of here's our working map. It's pretty steep over here. This is some additional money stuff other than the original plan to connect another piece of property potentially. We're just kind of doing a feasibility at the moment. We are going to go here, start GPS track, start tracking, and then we're going to put that back in our pocket just so we know where all we've been, and off of memory we can have some no-go places or must-go points of interest. I'll lay out a little switchback right here just to get us down. Pretty restricted by property lines at this point. Hillside's running a little funny, and we are way too far down, I can already tell. That's about 3.5% right there. Kind of all I really like to do in switchbacks. It may take a little longer to get down a hill like that, but it seems like to me, you can always make it way more low maintenance. Notice I did not say sustainable because I'm trying to change our verbiage and our expectation of soft surface trails to our clients and not give them the persona of sustainable and not ever needing maintenance. I probably can't see these briars on camera, but man, they are mean. Another thing I like to do is really flatten out at the corners. That way you can build good climbing turns with not having to disturb a huge amount of dirt. And also like to point them uphill a little bit so you get the inner and the exit differential a little closer. That way you can have a good flat corner, dip down coming out. It's not so hard to get rid of water and or climb. So we're looking at 2.5% in the middle of this corner from our last flag. And that should work out just about right. Well, it wants to be right here on this knot here. Let's do it on this tree. If you guys have any questions about what we're doing or how we're doing it, let us know down in the comments, and we'll just tie a bow tie on that one just because we can. Let us know down in the comments and we will answer questions and tell you why we do what we do. Also, we are not opposed to doing things different. If you think you got a better way, we will definitely listen and have that conversation. Okay, sometimes you just come to this. So we will back up and go around and hopefully be able to see our flags in here. If not, we'll just have to be real careful back home on the computer and get us another dot on the other side of this thing to make sure we can carry this grade all the way across like we think we can, but it's really hard to walk through that. I feel like Axl Rose. Some of you kids might not get that. Some of you more experienced folks will have already been singing, "Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. I got briars in my legs." Ouch. That's our last flag right up here. We are at 6% below it. We're gonna put a flag right here. Actually, what we need to do, we need show you a little trick here. If I can get this tree over and it not kill me, as you can pull to the top of this tree like so, and when you're in a thicket you can send that up there like that. You can go back out here, watch the briars. There's a flagging we hung up in a tree there. Now we can go around, hopefully find another way to get in on the other side of that little briar thicket and keep going. Yeah, not really something I want to walk through. I should have looked at our elevation on Avenza right back there at our last marker, and then we could have came down here and just hung some big flags to kind of keep us guided through here and dial it in when we come through with the machine. As you can see, it's just a freaking mess. I'm gonna just ribbon this. I'll be able to extract these elevations once I set my track is done on Avenza. We can go back, pull elevations from anywhere on that. So for those of you that are wondering, that's what's going on with some of the reason for tracking the whole thing, is pulling elevations later. All right, let's pull the map up. This is why I was tracking all that. So where I'd go in, I was just kind of guessing. And I can get on the topo line here, follow follow. I've got a little flat-ish area right here before it dropped. I think there's a bluff right there. We're gonna try to get a trail down there also, but we for sure need this one up here, and this is showing us that it is completely doable with proper grades for a green trail. So we're gonna put a yellow flag in here that tells us we are good to go from this point on, and we'll go ahead and get that in our mapping, get the client a green mark on this edition if they so choose. We'll just go from there. Everything we put at this stage in the woods as far as ribbon, we always, almost always put it on grade. That way, when we're coming back finalizing, and if we move things later on, we know that all of these with these types of knots are all on grade, and we do our in-between grade flagging different so we know what those are as well. Question and answer time. We get a lot of questions of how do you know how to bid these things? How do you know what's in the dirt? How do you know you're not going to run into rock? How do you know this? How do you know that? Well, other than experience, you can look at soil maps is a really good way. Hint. Also, while you're on site, you can kind of just look at what's down here. And you can kill that and see what's under there. Dig around and see what's kind of on the surface. Also, really good spot to see a good depth of dirt is find you a tree. Oh, I just about stepped on a snake. It's November 13th. Check out this little fella. Hey, little buddy. You really liking that? See you, my dude. So that's not a good sign for flagging trail, but whatever. I guess we get bit, we get bit. Back to what I was saying about a really good way to see what's a pretty good depth of dirt is find a tree that's fallen, kind of like this one. And you have a big root ball. Pretty good sized tree. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but this will give you a glimpse into what's under all of this. It looks pretty gravelly with some rock in it. It'll probably sift out really well with our sifting bucket. We pretty much use that thing exclusively anyway, but here is the surroundings. You can kind of see there's a whole bunch of this right here. Really steep, benchy down that way. We're gonna wrap on around the corner here, see what's over there, and tie into the stuff that we already have designed and we know that'll work. We'll catch you over there. Finally got over here to some open woods where we can do this like we normally do it, and walk as far as we can see and shoot those grade marks and not have to do it every 20 foot. Be kind of steep right here probably. Yeah, that's 7. I don't really want to be that steep, and looking back this way, I can tell if I stay that steep, I'm going to bounce out into the field, which is the runway. We don't want to do that. We want to keep people out of the runway. This tree is dead as a doorknob, looks like. I can still see that flag back there, so I'm going to keep going so as not to lay out a whole bunch of flags in case they decide they don't want to do this, or if it takes longer than expected to get done and leave a bunch of flags out here in the woods forever. Okay, we're dead flat with that last flag, which is fine, I think. We're just gonna tie a flag right here. This is by no means anywhere close to being final flag, so that's how we're gonna do it. and look all around. This is how you do it. You don't have to call nobody or nothing. You just look around and make sure there's no airplanes gonna land. I don't see any airplanes gonna land.